The following was recorded in front of a live studio audience at the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe. This is the United Podcast Network.
The following program is closed captioned for the thinking impaired.
By tomorrow, I will rule the world!
You think he's gone? He's not gone. That's the whole point. He's never gone.
Is this some radical new therapy?
You see?
Well, I must have not been paying attention when you were just talking to me. Do you think that you could repeat the question?
All right, we got it on Methuen Community Sound Off is up. Get it on Haverhill 411. Now we're live on that page. Valley Beach. Well, that's the fastest Facebook has worked at the beginning of a show ever. Usually that takes 5 minutes to get that done.
You must know we got an important show on our hands today.
Facebook knows. Facebook knows Don Smriglio is in the house. Yeah. It's like Elvis.
Right. Yep.
All right, you want to get this show on the road there, kiddo?
Yeah, let's go.
All right. Hi, how's everybody doing? My name's Tom Duggan here with the Paying Attention Podcast. Hi atop Two Guys Smoke Shop at the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe. We've got a local legend in here with us and a couple of guys that are very soon going to be local legends. Don Smriglio, the owner of Borrellis Deli. We got the horrible bad news last week that Don was selling Borrellis Deli, going into retirement, and I was heartbroken. I'm like, oh my God, I'm not going to get to see Don on Thursdays when I leave because Thursdays I leave here at 3 o'clock. The show ends around 3, and then I go right to Borrellis to get my sausages and my meats because you guys close at 4. So my first question is going to be about whether you guys are going to stay open a little later. But we want to welcome Don, and we also want to welcome Paul and Jimmy Tamacchio. Now, are you guys any relation to Phil Tamacchio? The karate guy, no. I went to high school with him. And I haven't seen him since high school, but I see him on Facebook all the time. So, Don, you're well, first let's thank the sponsors. I want to thank McLennan Real Estate, Century 21. And by the way, you should visit the Century 21 website. They were always posting like really funny videos about stuff that's going on. And that's pretty fun. So we want to thank Janet and everybody over at McLennan Real Estate. The Zanny Pesci Law Office, if you need, if you have a problem with bankruptcy or real estate issues, give them a call. Marseille and Son Construction, we love Ronnie Marseille. Want to thank him again for coming to the Bash this year, donating $1,000 for our scholarships. It's tremendous to have him every year. Great guy. And by the way, I hope he runs for office this year. There's an election in Methuen. EIS, Investigation and Gun Training. Borrellis Deli, which we're going to talk a lot about today. Yeah. Tomo and Shaken Seafood. If you guys like the hibachi grill that they do over there, it's amazing. And are you guys sushi guys? Do you like sushi?
I love sushi.
They've got a sushi there called the Kabakazi. You have to try it. Okay. I go when I order one, then I order 2 more when I'm done. ClearPath for Veterans New England. We do have a little update on ClearPath. So our homeless veteran Jeff that we've been working with, we've been trying to. So we got him into rehab, and Randy and all the people at ClearPath brought him down to Bedford. He was there for almost a week. And then last week, was it last week before the show?
Before the show.
We got a call from Randy saying he's doing good, he's still in rehab. And then at 6 o'clock that night, I got another call from Randy at ClearPath saying he faked a heart attack, and when he went to the hospital ward, he skipped out. So last night at TMF, when we were out doing our homeless run, we go to all the encampments in Lawrence and bring them like food and hand warmers and stuff. Guess who we ran into, Chrissy? I told you last week he was going to end up making his way back to Lawrence, and he did. He's over on Bay State Road. So to all the TMF volunteers, anybody that's over near Bay State Road at night when you're bringing blankets and stuff to people, please try to have a conversation with Jeff. I talked to him last night for about a half an hour. He says he's not ready to go back, but you got to encourage him to go back. My sister Kiana went into rehab 6 times before she got clean. Yep. And now she's married with 2 kids. She owns a home. She's doing great. And that life is there for you, Jeff, if you're listening. And I know he does watch the show because he said he mentioned last night that he saw what I said last week. please reach out to people. Please reach out to people. Even if you fail once, you fail twice. You got to keep trying. The minute you stop trying, you're dead. I mean, we know of 100 people off the top of my head who have died on the streets of Lawrence, either from opioid addiction or getting jumped or getting killed. So it's not a good place to be. So I get the whole heroin addiction thing. I can't even quit cigarettes. But you got to keep trying. Otherwise, you're going to end up like those other 100 people that we know that are not with us anymore. So please do. And by the way, thank you to ClearPath for always taking the call. Even at 3 in the morning, they take the call if I find a veteran. And they come up from Bedford. They drive up and they'll climb down to the banks of the Merrimack River and put a veteran in their car and drive them down to Bedford right away. I also want to thank the Mercurio Law Office, AFC Urgent Care, love Lisa Williams and Tom DeLacy and Zaka and everybody over there. They're trying to open up an AFC in Lawrence. I did talk to the mayor's office yesterday, and we're going to try and set up another meeting for them to try and get them, because they want to service the Latino community. They do immigration physicals. And it's not easy for a lot of people to get to Methuen or North Andover, so they're trying to open up in Lawrence. Pleasant Valley Landscaping, I understand Dave Consoli from Pleasant Valley Landscaping does not need any more workers, but he is taking more work. So if you need landscaping, please give him a call. A free shout out to our buddies at JG's Ice Cream, only because their product is just so damn good. And another free shout out to Sullivan Insurance and 4-Star Lighting. All right, so we got all that out of the way. Dawn, when did you buy Borrellis Deli? What made you want to do that? Like, that's a pretty big undertaking.
Let's see. I purchased the original Borrellis back in November of 1993.
Wow.
I am a chef by trade. I went to the vocational school, Culinary Arts, went on to the Culinary Institute of America, worked around the circuit, country clubs, yacht clubs, hotels, and I graduated in 73 from high school, 75 from college, and I was just tired of working for other people. And I was working at Boston University at the time, and I was reading the Sunday newspaper, and I come across this small local Italian deli for sale. So I made a phone call, didn't know where it was Borrellis at the time, went and looked at it, and the rest is history. I was sold, and like I said, the rest is definitely history.
Yeah. And so once you took it over, it was quite an undertaking because Borrellis already had a good name. People knew the old owners.
Correct. So
how was that transition? Because the gentleman that you have here with us, Paul and Jimmy, they're going to be going through that now.
Right. Well, when I took it over, it was on, you know what Piero's Bakery is? Mm-hmm. It was right next door to it. Actually, Piero's Plus is in there now. I think it was 1,100 square feet. We had 8 feet of refrigerated deli case. We had sausage, mortadella, salami, prosciutto, a couple cheeses, and that was it. Mm-hmm. We made sandwiches. We started doing sandwiches. We started doing 4, 5, 6 a day, got up to like 10 or 12 a day. Now it's between 200 and 300 a day. Mm-hmm. I started off with my niece Donna, who was extremely shy at the time. My good friend Steve, who was a chef also, he was helping me out. So it was just the three of us running the business. And we just kept growing and growing and growing, and I just kept adding more people. As space became available in the building, I took over some more space in back. There was a dance school called Dance Images, where Gelato is right now. Mm-hmm. And let's see, they moved out. So I talked to the landlord. I said, I want that space. We cut out a couple big holes in the walls, and we made a pass-through. So I pretty much doubled my space. Shortly thereafter, we still ran out of space.
It's a good problem to have.
It is a good problem to have. We've just grown, I don't know how many, 10-fold, 20-fold, 30-fold, whatever. Mama Mary's, as everybody knows, Mama Mary's restaurant. Mm-hmm. I tried to buy Mama Mary's back. I moved there in 2005. That's when I bought it. It was around 2002, 2003. Charlie and Elaine were looking to sell, so they spoke to me and my wife, Gail, and we went and sat down, and I just could not put the deal together. I wanted to buy it, but it was just not the right time. Charlie ended up selling it to a family called the Carusos, Mama Carusos, and they ran it for 1 year, and they decided, this is not for me. They put up a for sale sign out the street. I saw it.
Scooped it up right away.
And I was all over it, and like I said, the rest is history. So
That's awesome. So now, are you Paul and Jimmy?
I go by Jim.
Jim and Paul. Okay, I'm sorry for mixing you guys up. So now you guys are in the same spot he was in 30 years ago, right? You're picking up where Borrellis is. They've got a great name. Don's a legend. Nobody likes change. Me either. I hate anytime something changes, right? What are your plans now? We got a lot of people on Facebook saying, please don't change the menu. I hope they're going to expand their hours, all that stuff. So what are you guys planning for Borrellis now that you've taken over?
Well, first off, obviously, Don is a legend, and we've been going there. I've lived in the Valley my whole life, and for the last 30 years, we've been frequenting Don. Prior to that, I actually knew Louis and Jenny Borrelli. Mm-hmm. I remember speaking with Louis way back before he even opened up on Union Street.
Wow.
And it's kind of really surreal to be, again, here now.
Right.
As far as what we're looking at Sundays. Sundays look like a great opportunity for us, but we're not going to do it right away.
Right.
We're going to take our time, make sure everyone's comfortable, and we really know the business because there are so many working parts in this business.
Right.
It's crazy.
People don't understand because I run the Valley Patriot newspaper, and people think that I just sit down for a couple of days, put the paper together once a month, and then that's it. People don't understand all the different components that go into running a business because you've got the customer service side, but then you've also got the business side with taxes and accountants and buying stock in the different products and all that stuff. So there's a lot to do.
And it doesn't stop.
Right.
But we're, again, blessed by the people he put in place. Mm-hmm. They're amazing. And if it's not broke, you don't have to fix it, right? And so I look at them, and so a lot of people are saying, you can't change it. We're not going to change anything. I mean, we're going to probably put our thumbprint on a certain thing, and just as Don has over all these years, you find something, and then you say, hey, let me try it just a little different. Not right away, but that's something we'll consider.
Right.
We are looking at opening later, not right away again, but looking to go maybe to 6:30 in the evening, because I speak to a lot of people, and they say, I drive by there when I go to work, and you're closed.
Right.
And when I get home, you're closed.
Right.
So the only day I have is Saturday.
Right.
So by looking at that, that's what we're looking at.
Right. And a lot of times I don't get out of here because the show starts at 2. A lot of times I don't get out here till 3:30 because I'm chatting with people, after the show's over. And then I pull up and it's 5 minutes after 4, and I'm like, I can't get my meats today. So expanding the hours would be great, and keeping the menus that you have, but then expanding on it and adding to that would be incredible.
Paul's our chef. Paul is amazing.
Yeah.
His culinary ability is just top notch.
Any ideas on some kind of stuff you're going to be adding to the Borrellis menu?
Yeah, so we're definitely trying to keep everything, the same. All of the existing, all of the existing menu, the sandwiches, the meals to go, the sausage, all of that's going to stay the same. Mm-hmm. We do want to add some additions, maybe some extra meals to go, some of our family specialties. Mm-hmm. Again, we'll keep what they already have. We'd like to introduce our family recipe for sausage. So we're going to have a Tamacchio family recipe, just added on to the end of the sausage that they already have.
Great. Yeah, we can't get rid of the Valley Patriot sausage unless you can make it hotter. If you can make it hotter, that'd be great.
I told Jimmy the story yesterday.
Oh, good. Excellent. Yeah.
So, and I do eventually want to introduce an artisan lineup of sandwiches. Mm-hmm. There's so many super high quality premium meats out there that just people in the area don't use. And I want to really incorporate that into a premium menu. So still offer what we got, and just introduce some cool different stuff and, really put my thumbprint on it that way.
Talk about some of the other businesses that you own, because you guys have a couple of restaurants. Please feel free to promote them. I mean,
sure.
I mean, you guys didn't just. The reason I'm bringing it up is I don't want people at home to think you guys just bought a deli and now you've got to learn how to deal with food service and all that, because you guys have already done it.
Well, in Haverhill, we own Stacks, and it's the old lasting room for those who have never been to Stacks. Our son, my wife and I, our son Anthony, his brother, owns Loaded, which is down behind, and he does some crazy stuff there, Korean dogs and loaded, fries and loaded whatever, and it's top notch. So we've had Stacks, and we've been running that.
And that's a restaurant?
It's a restaurant bar. We have 24 taps. We have boozy shakes with or without alcohol. We have a 26 by 46 deck out back, and we're doing the final install right now on a permanent awning.
Nice.
So that if it showers or whatever, you're still going to be able to enjoy
You had me
outside.
at deck. I love sitting. Yeah. One of the reasons I love to go to Salvatore's all the time, especially when the weather is nice, to sit out on the deck.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when the weather's nice, people love that.
And, you know, we got a great team there, you know, so we're doing whatever you need.
What kind of food? If I would go to this restaurant, what kind of food can I expect?
Paul, you're better than me on that.
Yeah, so Stacks, it's like that, you know, that pub food. We've got smash burgers, fried chicken sandwiches, you know,
nachos?
appetizers. Not nachos right now. They will be on one of our menus. We do seasonal changes.
Okay.
But it's funny you speak of nachos. My first restaurant was actually a burrito joint. It was in downtown Haverhill called Stuffed. We did nachos, empanadas, Mexican
Stuffed.
street corn,
Yep.
a bunch of burritos. And I grew up a huge following. It became massive. We were such a small place, but we were so busy, so many people talking about us. Unfortunately, we closed down to do other endeavors, which right now it's turning out great, right? But yeah, it's crazy how far I've come, and we've come since then. My first job was actually at Borrellis.
I was just going
to put
that.
Probably about 14 years ago.
So you hired him to work for you, and now he's going to end up owning the business. That's pretty good.
Pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
And I just want to say, we also have a place in Salem, and it's called Par 28, and it's in the old Coca-Cola building.
And is that a restaurant?
Well, we have coal-fired pizza and all the fixings along with that that we can fit. We have a 34-seat bar. We have 7 golf simulators, TrackMan 4s. And
I hear that's getting very popular. I know the Clat is starting to do that now.
Yep. And we have 8 axe throwing bays.
Oh, nice.
Right. So
now, is that profitable? Is that working? Because I know the place in Haverhill is not doing well.
No, it's wonderful. We're doing wonderful.
Oh, good. That's awesome.
But I do want to say this, and I don't want to leave them out. It's a family business, so they can't be here today. But my son Joe and my son Jimmy are also involved in our endeavors.
I was born into the wrong family, Chrissy. I should have been born into their family.
Now, another business we own, again, Par 28's wonderful. We own a pharmacy in Salem, New Hampshire, in the Ananda building on Alpha Exit 2.
Okay.
And we do specialty compounding and ship all over the United States. And then we own a medical courier company, and we do all the major accounts. We were instrumental in COVID and vaccine deliveries, and we do nuclear, fertility. We do it all. And
so how did you guys come to own all of this stuff? Did you guys have like one business like years and years ago that just grew, or did you inherit them? Or I'm just curious if you don't mind.
So actually, he's always been a businessman. We didn't even mention this, but we did the fairs. So the Deerfield Fair, the Rochester Fair, the Hopkinton Fair. We sold sausage subs. That has been around since, 1953?
Yeah.
1953.
Wow.
So it's been around a while. So that's how we got into the sausage biz. We pulled out of that, and then when I opened my restaurant called Stuffed, that was what really proved to the family that we could do this. And then we took on a larger endeavor in Stacks, and then even bigger in Par 28. And
so
now,
it just keeps growing.
Yeah, exactly.
So obviously you guys know what you're doing, because most 85, I think, I can't remember the exact number, but like 85 to 90% of first-time businesses fail in the first year. And then 60% of those businesses that survive fail in the second year. So, and I only know this because when we started the Valley Patriot, we didn't buy it from somebody, we just started it up. We got all those statistics, and everybody was telling us we had no chance. We had no chance of surviving. And last month we celebrated our 19th anniversary. We're getting ready. We're in our 20th year now. So it's not easy. It's not easy. I mean, and as a business owner, I know. So you guys must know what you're doing, and that's what I want to convey to the people watching. You guys must know what you're doing, because you've grown, and the area's had some really tough times, whether it was COVID or the Columbia gas explosions, or the burst of the real estate market, and you guys are still growing. So I think that's great.
Well, we're elbows deep into it.
Right.
my whole family is partaking in all these endeavors. We just don't do it, hire people and have them run it. No, it has our touch permanently on it.
Now, does Don get like free sausages for the rest of his life now? Because
Absolutely.
he was getting a discount when he owned it, so now when he goes to buy his meats, it's kind of hard to pay full price, right?
That's a given.
Don, we've got something for you. I was talking last night to one of my best friends in the world, State Auditor Diana DiZoglio, and as soon as she saw that I posted online that you were coming on the show, she called me and said, let me come by your office. She had Callie, one of her aides, come by the office last night and give us a citation from the Mass State Auditor's Office. I don't know if you guys can see this at home. It says, in recognition of your many years of success at Borrellis Italian Deli and your dedication and generosity to the Greater Lawrence community, thank you for all you do. And I also want to thank you on behalf of TMF, the group of young kids that feed the homeless. I understand that on numerous occasions you have donated food for the homeless and then said, please don't thank us, which is why I think you weren't thanked on Facebook. But I want to thank you because I know last night when I told people at TMF that you were coming on the show, they were like, oh, I can't wait to see that. That guy's been so good to us. So I want to give you this on behalf of State Auditor Diana DiZoglio. And I also spoke with State Representatives Polino and Estella Reyes, and they're going to have something for you at another time.
Thank you very much. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
I appreciate it.
And
Stella Reyes actually came by Saturday with a citation as well.
Did
too.
she? Okay,
Yeah, she
good.
did. With Ryan Hamilton.
She is wonderful. She really represents Methuen very well.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I'll thank Diana personally.
Yeah, please do.
I have her cell phone number.
Oh, good.
So I'll give
Yeah,
her a
no,
call.
she loves you, and she called me right away. She's the state auditor, and it's like 9:30 at night, and I see she's calling, and I'm like, well, something big must have happened. And she said, no, if you have Don coming on the show tomorrow, we got to get you a citation for him because he's such a great guy. So now you're retiring, and you said you're going to Italy, but you must have plans for like after that. Like, are you gonna just spend time on a beach? Because that's what I'd do. I'd be in the Bahamas. You'd never see me again.
Well, I love the ocean and love the beaches, so that is the plan. We have a little place up in Wells, but I'm not sure that's the plan. I've never had a summer to myself. I really don't want to do anything for 6 months to a year.
That's awesome.
Italy is kind of the first trip that we have planned, but hopefully there's many more to come. It's just, my wife retired back in June. I love to play golf. I like to fish. So it just, I don't know. I'm not the least bit worried about what's going to happen, what I'm going to do. I'm just going to try to enjoy it. And I know I'm leaving everything behind me in good hands. The Tamacchio family has been wonderful. It truly is a family that's involved. Right now, Jimmy's wife is in there, his sister-in-law is in there, his brother-in-law is in there, and they're all digging in. It's new. It's a new environment for them, but they're going to get it. You know what I'm saying? And my staff has been fabulous. They just, they're a little nervous, and that's to be expected. 30 years, and a lot of them have been with me for 15, 20 years. And I understand why they're nervous, but I keep telling them, you're in good hands. Don't worry. Just continue doing what you're doing and not to worry. So
I know when I go into Borrellis, top-notch service. Top-notch service.
Right,
People
right.
behind the counter, people behind the meat counter, the woman running the register, they're always fantastic. In fact, I went in one day last week, I can't remember what I got. I think I got like just some deli meats. And I asked him, I said, I always like to put tomatoes on my sandwiches. Do you guys have tomatoes? I don't see them out. And he goes, well, we got some in the back. We'll take care of you. And he went in the back and he sliced a couple of tomatoes for me. And he sold me the tomato slices. And I was like, you go to other places and you say, do you have X, Y, Z? And if it's not on the menu, they're not giving it to you. So I have to give you guys a lot of credit over at Borrellis. You're always going above and beyond for whatever the customer asks.
It's all about customer service.
Right.
I mean, I tell the employees all the time, without the customer, we don't have a job, including me.
Right.
So if we don't have customers, see you later.
Right.
So.
Absolutely. And my readers love you. Every time I post, when I go on and even if I just go to get like deli meats and I take a picture and post it on Facebook, I get 15, 20 instant messages from people going, hey, what's the address of that place? I've never been there. I want to go. And then they go, and then I get another email saying, hey, we just went. It was fantastic. And I always tell people, put it on Facebook, put it on LinkedIn, put it on your social media. Help promote the guy. He's doing good work. So.
That's one thing for sure. I'm still old-fashioned. I'm not on Facebook. My wife is. Borrellis is as well, too. But these guys are going to take it to the next level with Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. And I know that.
Yeah, social media is where it's at.
Oh, I know that.
Yeah.
I know that.
Yep.
It makes such a big difference.
It does. It does. And, you know, we're in a business now, like with Valley Patriot, we're in a business where print is dying. But we're expanding because as other print medias are dying, as, you know, the Methuen Loop went out of business, we got all their advertisers.
Right.
And so we got to expand. And we said, okay, well, now that we've got all this extra money, let's get down like into Chelmsford. Let's get down into Tingsboro. So if you're in a business that's not dying, like you guys are, that's something that people like, people know, it's branded well, I could only see you guys going up from here.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Absolutely. And and the clientele that Don has built up over the past 30 years, that's just word of mouth.
Mm-hmm.
That's just, you know, being in the right place, a great location, providing excellent food and excellent service. And now to keep that well-oiled machine and implement what we know with social media, it's just, you know, the world is our oyster.
You may have to expand the building by the time you're done, right? Up, right? Or you probably have to go up with all the zoning regulations and stuff, right? So have you guys has anybody reached out to you guys and said, hey, now that you've bought, Borrellis, I've got a great idea for you?
We're always getting the opportunities.
And I think everybody's great idea is don't change.
Right.
That's all I hear. Please don't change. Please don't change. Yep. And, you know, we're definitely going to keep it broad.
And extend the hours.
Extend the hours, absolutely.
I can tell you, one of my favorite things besides the special Valley Patriot hot sausages is the butternut squash ravioli is amazing. And then one day I went in and I wasn't looking at what I was doing, and I grabbed the wrong one, and I grabbed the spinach ravioli by accident. So I got back home, and I said, well, let's give it a shot. Now I buy both of them because they're so good. I don't like change. I don't like to try new things, but every once in a while I screw up and get the wrong thing, and that's how I end up trying new things. And it's pretty amazing. So you're going to keep the focus on like the sandwiches and the deli meats and all that stuff, and
everything.
Do you have any new ideas on? You ever think about like maybe doing like specialty pizzas, like little personal pizzas or something like that?
No, we do sell Tripoli's pizza out of the freezer. We don't really have plans of doing pizza. There is talk about potentially doing some meat pie out of the cold case. But
spinach pie would be great.
The spinach pie would also be a good one.
Yep.
There is talk, again, nothing is set in stone. The only thing set in stone is that what is already there will still be there.
Now, where do you guys live? What town do you live in?
Methuen.
Are you both in Methuen?
Jimmy lives 2 minutes from the walk from the store.
Oh, no kidding. So that's great. So you guys are just local guys, and you've been going here for a long time, and you decided you're going to buy the business. And it's going to be weird for you, though, Don, like when all this is over and you drive by Borrellis and you're not going in to like run the place anymore. It's going to feel weird,
It's
right?
already very strange.
Is it really?
Just short story. About 4 years ago, Jimmy came in the deli. We were talking in front of the sausage area, and he said something to me, and it stuck in my head. He said, if you're ever interested in selling the business, I might be interested. I kind of just forgot about it, even though it stuck in my head. Paul came in Super Bowl, the Saturday before Super Bowl, and he bought some sandwiches. And I walked outside with Paul, and I was saying, because he worked for me 15 years ago. I said, so how's things going at Stacks in Part 28? He goes, fantastic, we're doing this. We're trying to open up another one, maybe in Bedford and whatever. I said, Paul, your father said something to me many years ago that if I was ever interested in selling, we might be interested. Paul's eyes lit up. He's like, are you serious? He goes, I'm going to see my brothers and my family all this weekend. He goes, we're going to talk. The following Tuesday, Jimmy calls my cell phone, and within days or hours, whatever, we had an agreement. And like I said, the rest, it's been moving along, boom, boom, boom. And it was a very smooth transaction so far. So
you're going to stay in the area? Like now that you're going to retire, but sometimes people retire and then they move to like, Maine or...
My roots are here in Methuen. So I was born and raised here. Yeah. So.
You guys have other businesses, and now you've picked up this business. Are you marketing everything all at once? Are you marketing like all of your businesses together, or are they all separate?
They're all separate, but like one of the things we're going to do for our employees at Par 28, at Stacks, and at Borrellis is going to have a discount card for the employees so that they can go to any of our places and have a nice discount.
And I would imagine too, you can use Borrellis to buy to buy your food products for your other restaurants, right? And then you get a discount because you're the buyer.
Well, we get a discount because we're buying so much food from the purveyors that provide to us.
Mm-hmm.
And they're the same purveyors that Don has been using. It's not like we're bringing in new people.
Right.
It's just that because we have more buying power, we're able to negotiate some good prices and some rebates,
Now,
which helps us.
Are you going to be working there? Like, if I go in to get my sausage, am I going to see you?
So Paul is operational.
Okay.
He's going to oversee all the operations. I am administrative.
Okay.
So I'll be, working the contracts and paying the bills, and so there's
That's important. When we started the Valley Patriot, there were 4 of us, and my girlfriend at the time was a lawyer. So I dealt with the journalism side. I'm the guy that went to the meetings, wrote the stories, took the pictures, and interviewed people. She did like the invoices and depositing the checks and chasing people that owed us money and all that stuff. And then when we broke up, I had to do both. And let me tell you, it's good that you got 2 people doing it because it was tough. The first 5 to 10 years of doing it myself, I didn't know what I was doing. I was the journalist
Yep.
guy. So it's good to have 2 people that have different specialties that can complement each other.
Well, again, just to say again, my son Jimmy, who I just want to throw this out, last March, he gave me a kidney. So I had a kidney transplant
That's
last
a great
March.
story.
Oh, yeah.
So it's pretty cool, and it's working perfect.
That's awesome.
I'm blessed.
That's awesome.
But he handles a lot of our social media, and he's amazing. And so he does all that. And then my son Joe, who's also part of the ownership, really works our medical courier company, really works Par 28 and the simulators and everything that's going on there. So it's a concerted effort among all of us.
Wow, that's tremendous. I want to thank our sponsors, advertisers again. I never know, Chris, if we call them sponsors or advertisers. I think sponsors is better. It's easier to get people to spend their money if they're sponsoring something than advertising. Right? People are afraid of advertising.
I would say sponsors.
I want to thank JG's Ice Cream. Actually, it's a free shout out to JG's Ice Cream across the street because they're just so awesome. And in Methuen. Excuse me. Pleasant Valley Landscaping. AFC Urgent Care, Mercurio Law Office. Doug Mercurio was great. He was in here about a month or 2 ago, and pretty good interview. Clear Path for Veterans New England, especially if you know a homeless veteran out there. But also, 100% of what you donate to Clear Path for Veterans New England goes directly for homeless veterans. They don't take a penny. So a lot of these places that are supposedly helping veterans, they take 20, 30% off the top for administrative costs. At ClearPath, they don't do that because they've got separate grants that help pay for their administrative costs. So everything you donate to ClearPath goes directly to a homeless veteran. Borrellis Deli, where I'm going to get my stuff after the show. EIS Investigation and Gun Trading. The Marsan and Son Construction. Zanny Pesci Law Office. And the McLennan Real Estate Century 21 in Methuen. I think they have an office in North Andover, too, because I think I see them in North Andover a lot. So you guys... You're taking over. You must be nervous, right? Because it's a new business, and like I said, Don's kind of got this cult following that he's got. You guys must be a little bit nervous about this.
I mean, absolutely, but I think that the excitement outweighs the nerves.
Yeah.
Just coming full circle from it being my first job to hopefully it being my last job, right?
What did you do for your first job? Like, were you cutting meat?
No, I worked the cashier, scooping the cold stuff, stocking the soda fridge, washing dishes.
Right.
I worked in the trenches there.
So pretty much every job from the bottom up, from the dishwasher to the guy cutting the meat. So you've got a little bit of experience on how to run this place.
Yeah, the best part about this place is that everyone there it's just such a well-oiled machine. Mm-hmm. Everyone is so talented, so nice, and I really just got to step in and be the decision maker. Everything else, it runs so smooth. So I'm very grateful for that, and the staff that he nurtured and just essentially it was just such a loving relationship between him and everyone. They had a toast for Don on his last official day, and when he locked the door, and they had a toast for him, a champagne toast, and they all talked, and all the employees had tears coming down their face, and that really showed me like, wow. I need to put my heart and soul into this. I won't fail Don. I won't fail these employees, and I'm going to give it my all, and I hopefully will make Don proud. So.
Well, that's awesome, Don. Any final words as we're wrapping up?
it's heartfelt just to hear, the kind words from Paul, from Jimmy, from everybody, from the employees, from even all the Facebook posts. I've been reading them, and it's outstanding.
You got to sign in on your wife's account, though, right?
No, she just shows me.
Okay.
No, it's just been a wonderful 30-year ride, and I couldn't have asked for anything better.
That's tremendous. So I told the audience they could ask questions. Nobody has any questions other than what I already asked about the time. When do you think you'll be expanding that time?
Well, I know my dad is pushing for July 4th weekend. We'll definitely be open that Sunday and Monday before July 4th because it falls on a Tuesday this year.
Okay.
So that might potentially kick off our opening on Sundays. But, we'll see. Well, if you follow our socials, Facebook and Instagram, we will keep everyone up to date for sure.
Yeah, we'll definitely keep it up, and we'll definitely promote it on the show and in the newspaper. One of the great things about having this podcast and owning a newspaper is I come in, you guys come in, I interview you, and then I'll put together a story for a print edition based on what we talked about here, which is just free additional content for you guys beyond the advertising and everything else. It's just, and then once the paper's been out, because we're a monthly, once the paper's been out for 3 weeks, we'll take each story in the paper and post them online so you guys can share it, all your social media. If your Stacks page, you can let them know that you guys now own Borrellis Deli. So I'm glad that you guys came in because it provides us with a little bit of content to help promote you better. Mm-hmm. And also to say goodbye to Don. I don't want to get teary-eyed here, but I've been going to Borrellis for a long time. I've known Don for a long time. And we distribute the newspaper there. And sometimes I go in and I just put the papers in because I'm too busy. I got stuff to do and I can't go in and buy anything. And Don will actually see me and come out and chat with me. And that's
true.
That's always nice. He sees me there and he's like, oh, he's running away, and he comes out to chat with me. And it's that personal touch. It's always been that personal touch, Don. And I think one of the reasons people love you so much as a local business owner is that you truly care about people. Like you care about, you see somebody and you go over and you talk to them about like what's going on in their life. And you're just a deli guy,
Although I want to say one thing. Last Thursday you came in. I saw you. I purposely kind of hid from you.
I saw you do that, and I'm like, well, I hope he's not mad at me.
Because it was
not.
We're
losing their advertising.
No. Because it was not official yet.
Right.
And I didn't want to say anything to you. But I had a list of people to call, and you were on the list. But you texted me first.
Yeah.
So,
well, somebody texted me because I've got spies everywhere because we're a newspaper, and somebody texted me and said, hey, Don sold Borrellis. And I said, get the fuck out of town. There's no way that happened. I'm like, there's no way that happened. And so I said, about an hour went by, and I was actually doing the show when I got the text. So like an hour went by, and as I'm driving, I said, geez, it's too late for Borrellis, but let me shoot him a text and just in case it's true. Because in my business, a lot of the things that you think could never be true end up being true. So I'm always skeptical. And I sent you a text and I said, well, I heard from like some other media outlet or something.
Exactly.
I said, that can't be true. And he called me on the phone right away. And when I saw him calling, I went, oh shit, it's probably true, or he wouldn't be calling. And it was a nice conversation. But I'm sad to see you go, and hopefully we'll see you around. Like hopefully you're still going to be in the area and you're still going to be doing stuff.
I'm not running away. I'm not hiding. I've been involved with the community for many, many years, and I still will be. So I'm not going anywhere.
Well, next year when we have our Valley Patriot 20th anniversary bash, it's going to be the big one because it's the 20th. I know you haven't been. But you got to come next year because we will have something for you.
I promise you.
Okay, you got to come next year for the 20th. It's going to be so big, we're not even sure where we're going to have it because the Relief Sin told us that they can't handle the capacity of what we have. So we might be doing it at Doubletree. We're not sure where we're going to do it. We're looking for a venue, but we definitely want to have you in, and obviously we'll have you guys, and we'll throw you some free tickets and have you come.
I promise
you. 28.
Because once you guys see what we do, we gave out $53,000 in scholarships this year. That people just donated just from Facebook. We put on Facebook and people just donate. But we'd love to have you come and see what we do and be part of it because
awesome.
It's a really nice thing. You could roll up. Anybody have anything like that I didn't ask that you'd love to convey to people as we're moving forward before we end the show?
I would just love to publicly thank Don, for everything he did for Borrellis and to, really trusting us. Got to shake your hand on camera, my man. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's awesome. Want to thank our you can roll up, Bell, if you want there, Chris. We're actually going to end on time today, which is very, very rare for this show. want to thank our sponsors. I'll try and do them in a different order
Because
anyway.
we let other people talk today.
Right. I want to thank Tomo and Shaken Seafood. If you like sushi, try the kamikaze. Trust me when I tell you. By the way, it's cooked. It's cooked. It's not the raw sushi. Everybody thinks sushi is always raw fish, but it's not. So get the kamikaze. It's cooked, but it's amazing. Clear Path for Veterans New England, the Mercurio Law Office, Doug Mercurio in North Reading. Thank you for sponsoring the show. AFC Urgent Care, Lisa Williams and everybody over in Methuen and North Andover. They do a great job. By the way, don't go to Holy Family or Lawrence General if you got a problem. Go to AFC Urgent Care. You're literally in and out in 10 to 15 minutes, and I've been there numerous times for things, and I can tell you that for sure. Free shout out for JG's Ice Cream. Who do we leave out? Borrellis Deli, where I'm going to go get my sausages right after the show. EIS, Investigation and Gun Trading. If you're looking to get your gun permit with this new governor, you better do it now. Trust me, you may not have that chance in another year. Marsan & Son Construction, the Zanny Pesci Law Office, and McLennan Real Estate. Melvin Taylor says you got to go home. So go home already.
The views and opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, or callers of this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe, the United Podcast Network, its partners, or affiliates.